Blood Favor should not be touched until exhaustion is nerfed. With DS, Shoulder the Burden, Resurgence, and everything that exists for Survivor, this perk should not even begin to be looked at. Before I get into today's video, don't forget to go follow me on Twitch if you aren't already. It is written right here above me. I stream Sunday to Thursday at 8 p.m. Central Time. So I actually do agree with one part of this tweet, and that's that I don't really think Blood Favor needs a nerf. I think hexes as a concept need to be touched on, and I've covered this more in depth in other videos, so go watch those if you're interested. But in particular, I think hexes need to only spawn on a totem when they've been used. So Blood Favor shouldn't spawn on a totem until somebody's been injured. But outside of that, I don't really think Blood Favor needs to be touched. With that said, this sentiment that we can't address overpowered killers or overpowered killer perks because survivors have busted shit is delusional. In fact, that's exactly what needs to be done. I actually just released a survivor perk tier list video on YouTube, so go give that a watch if you want more in-depth explanations of what these perks do or why I think they're so strong. But if you do watch that video, you'll notice that when I talk about perks that I consider to be balanced, for survivors at least, I specifically say these perks would be balanced if the game was balanced. DBD is factually, statistically killer-sided, and it has been for a long time. This isn't something that's like up for debate. If it wasn't though, if the game was balanced equally for survivors and killers, there are a good chunk of survivor perks that would probably need nerfs. The ones that OP listed are a few of them. But in order for the game to become balanced, looking at its current state, one of two things needs to happen. Either killers need to receive nerfs or survivors need to receive buffs. If you start by buffing survivors, you run the risk of over-buffing them, especially when they go against weak killers. But if you nerf killers first, then the reactionary defensive role, which is the survivor role, can be adjusted and tuned accordingly. I think a lot of people forget that survivor as a role in Dead by Daylight is reactionary in nature. Everything survivors do in a game of Dead by Daylight is in response to something that killers do first. Because killers are the power role, they get to dictate the flow of the match. So do I think that Blood Favor specifically needs nerfs? Not particularly. But survivor is already the objectively statistically weaker role. But if your priority for DBD is balance, then killers need to receive the appropriate nerfs first, and then survivors can be adjusted accordingly.